Solahart hot water systems are manufactured to exacting standards and are designed to give long, trouble-free service. Experience has shown that the best results are obtained when Solahart units are installed using our recommended procedure. Tradesmen who have installed Solahart hot water systems over many years endorse these methods. By familiarizing yourself with the owner's manual, installation instructions, and by viewing this video, you will soon become familiar with sound installation techniques. Discuss the installation with the client.
Okay, thank you.
For the best performance, Solahart systems should be installed with the unit facing the equator. This means if you're in the southern hemisphere, face the unit north, and if you're in the northern hemisphere, face the unit south. Always carry a compass with you to check direction. Before starting, remove the cardboard end cover from one of the Solahart collectors and use this under your ladder to protect guttering or roof fascia. Have the parts box on the roof and open. Select the location for the storage tank. The front mounting foot of the tank should be positioned directly over a tile batten. Remove several tiles to locate exact position of the rafters and check if there is support under the rafters. Slide the straps onto the collector rail and line up the straps with the rafters. The straps should be no further apart than 1.6 meters and no closer than 1 meter. The collector downpipe can be used to give an indication of the approximate position for the collector rail. Then remove a few tiles from this area to expose the rafters. Measure 2,050 millimeters down the roof from this batten to determine the location of the collector rail and mark this location. Fix the left-hand strap to its rafter, then position the right-hand strap, ensuring that the rail is level. Then, and this is very important, once the rail is level, lower the right-hand side 5 millimeters to give the rail a slight incline. This will ensure that no air gaps are in the collectors once they are filled and operational. Fix the right-hand strap to the rafter. Replace these tiles. Return to the row of tiles where the storage tank will be positioned. Place the aluminium foil over this row of tiles and tuck the top of the foil under the row above. The tank sits on the foil. Again, the collector downpipe will act as a guide. Remove the tiles one up from the foil for the later placement of the tank straps. Now, lift the collectors onto the roof. The cardboard end covers should be removed while the collectors are on the ground. Lifting the collectors onto the roof needs 2 men and should be undertaken with care to protect the workers and the units. The collectors are identical and should be placed onto the top edge of the rail carefully. Remove all the black transit plugs from the collectors by unscrewing. Do not lever them out, as damage to the threads may occur. Join the collectors using the collector unions. Use only medium pressure and ensure that the O-rings are in place. Extreme care should be taken not to damage the O-rings or the seats. Remember, apply only medium pressure. Fit the collector downpipe to the bottom right-hand side of the collectors. Fit the fill assembly and tighten. Apply medium pressure. Lock the collectors to the collector rail with the 4 collector clamps and tighten using the nuts, bolts and washers provided. Again, lifting the storage tank onto the roof is a 2-man operation. Place the tank onto the foil strip and generally locate the position by the collector downpipe and the collector hot pipe. Fit the hot collector pipe first at the left-hand side of the tank, followed by the collector downpipe. Now, fit the tank straps to the tank clamps and fasten to the extruded section of the tank base. Ensure that the bolt fits into the valley of the tile and does not create a pressure on the tile. Check that the tank is level. When in position, attach the straps to the rafters by nailing. For a 300 JK system, the heat control kit will have to be assembled. These are not assembled at the factory to allow for on-site setting of the angles. Ensure that the copper pipe has cooled before handling. Now, remove the tank end center brass connections. Fit O-rings to heat control valve. Carefully screw in heat control valve with O-rings into the tank rear end center fitting and tighten. Place heat sink pipe around back of the tank with the cold water fitting towards the connection end of the tank. Screw pipe connection nut into tail end center connection of heat control valve and tighten. Apply thread tape to part 0602 brass connector male thread and screw into the 20mm or 3/4 inch diameter cold water inlet connection on the tank. Move heat control pipe with cold water connection end down to provide a gentle slope of pipe from the center tail end to the cold water connection end. Enter the cold water entry pipe into the adapter and tighten. Connect the cold water inlet into the fitting on the heat control pipe. Fit PT pressure relief valve. Connect inlet and outlet pipe work. Fill potable water cylinder and check for pipe leaks. Fill and pressurize jacket circuit by the following method. Remove the fill plug from the fill assembly and place hose over the fill assembly end and fill the collectors with water from the mains. Continue filling until the water overflows from the jacket relief valve outlet and the air bubbles stop. Insert the test block into the PR6 valve location socket and screw the PR6 valve into the test block. Now, remove the hose and screw in the fill plug. Connect a bicycle pump to the test block and pump up the collector circuit to 80 kPa. Check all connections for evidence of leakage. Ensure that the pressure remains constant. Should the pressure show any decrease, the leakage point must be located, then rectified, and the test procedure carried out again. Under no circumstance must a pressure decrease be left without rectification. Release the pressure from the collector circuit by removing the PR6 valve from the test block. When the pressure is released, refit the PR6 back into the test block. Now remove the fill plug and siphon the entire contents of the blue fluid heart guard container into the collector. During this operation, water will flow from the PR6 port. When the heart guard container is completely empty, refit the PR6 valve in its place, ensuring that the O-ring is in its correct position. Then remove the hose and replace the fill plug. The unit is now ready for the electrical connections. Switch off the electrical mains before you start any electrical connections. The fitting of a separate fuse and control switch is essential. Use the parts that apply to your local bylaws using the following diagram. Finally, remove all packaging and unused items and ensure the roof is clean and tidy. Fit the Solahart brand name stickers to the tank, fill in the completion report, and obtain the client's signature.
Right, thank you. Thank you very much. See you later.
The style and material of roofs vary considerably, so the fitting of the cyclone bracket assembly in this video is a general guide only. Lay out the two base rails and side rails and assemble to form a rectangle as shown here, with the right-hand side tilted up 5 millimeters. This will ensure that there are no airlocks in the collector system. The two side rails, which are U-shaped, should face outwards. They're bolted with washers through the holes provided. The assembled cyclone frame should be positioned so the lower base rail can be bolted through the roofing material and through the roof rafter. Use at least a 10 millimeter or 5/16 threaded bolt. At least 2 or 3 bolts should be used on both the bottom and the top base rails. When the base rails and side rails have been secured and tightened, fit the lower collector rail to the rail insert. This is a slightly narrower rail that slides inside the main collector rail. Line up the drilled holes, and with the U of the collector facing towards the gutter, fit to the lower of the side rails. Now fit the upper tank rail, bolting it to the side rails as well, using the holes provided. Fit the tank behind the tank rail and secure with the clamps and bolts.
Going down here?
fit the left collector and secure with the clamps and bolts. Fit the collector unions, making sure that the O-rings are correctly placed. Lift the right collector and fit into place by joining the collector unions. Secure the right-hand collector, then remove the lower right-hand plug and fit the copper blanking disc and tighten. Fit the hot pipe to the collector and tank end with the O-ring inside the collector connection and the other O-ring onto the pipe flange. Fit the collector downpipe on the left-hand side, again fitting the O-ring to the pipe flange at the tank end, but placing the O-ring into the collector socket. Lock the collectors to the collector rail with the 4 collector clamps and tighten. Now, fit the T adapter and the PT valve and tighten. Connect the overflow pipe to the PT valve and tighten. The unit is now ready to connect to the mains. When conducting a 5-year service, the following procedure should be followed. Turn off electricity and water mains. On a jacketed system, remove the jacket relief valve gently to release the pressure. Caution must be used at this stage as the fluid will be very hot and under pressure. Check the level of the fluid in the jacket by removing the plug from the fill assembly and connecting one end of a clear hose onto the fill assembly flange. Lift the other end of the clear hose level with the jacket relief valve port. If the level is lower than the relief valve port by more than 50 millimeters, fill the system with water or heart guard and conduct the pressure test as before. If it's leaking, replace all wedge seals and O-rings. Pressure test again to ensure that the closed circuit is sealed. Remove the cover plate from the tank end and remove sacrificial anode. Replace with a new one. Care should be taken to ensure that the thread in the tank is not damaged. Replace the PT valve with a new one. Check the electrical connections and clean the collector glass. Turn on the electricity and water mains. By following the recommended procedures shown in this video, you will ensure long and satisfactory service from these products.